I think Tyrese Maxey and Jaden Springer were the two stories of this game. I want to start with Springer on this because he's a guy who has been more of a question mark within the Sixers organization. We know he was drafted with a 28th overall pick 2 years ago at this point, has not seen much time. He's played 93 total minutes in the NBA to this point. Very much kind of hamstrung and handcuffed by the Doc Rivers experience. As much as there's been noise about the Paul Reeds and the other guys not receiving opportunities, I saw the Paul Reed quote talking about if he had shot 3-pointers like that with Doc Rivers, he probably wouldn't have played the next 10 games. So a lot more veiled shots at Doc coming out as well. But what were your thoughts on Springer as a whole, James?
He's legit, man. He's a legit
Yeah.
NBA player. I think is like the biggest takeaway is just like he can actually play. He's kind of something that surprised me, I think, and something that we've seen like parts of in what we've seen in summer league and some of the G League games and some of the time that he spent in the NBA. Some of the games I remember the Hawks game last year where he got some time, and he's kind of a connector offensively. He's like does some things kind of quirky. He's a little weird offensively. His points of attack are strange, but he makes good passes. He makes right reads. It was nice to see him attack the basket. He had a nice dunk on a Maxi dish, which is like his bounce is. It's like shocking. It's surprising to see. It's weird though because he's not like he's obviously just like a strong kind of wide build guy, but the way he jumps, it just seems like he elevates for a lot longer. And you saw that obviously on the block of Tatum, which is just like
incredible,
the best thing ever. I literally was like, damn. I was surprised he got up there to contest, let alone cleanly block that. But defensively, dude, he's an absolute dog. He's everywhere. Long arms, really strong, can kind of guard up, which is really nice to have. It's similar to kind of what Melton can do, but he's significantly stronger in like his base and core. He just looks like he's a menace out there. Like I wouldn't want to deal with him as a ball handler. He's eager to play on that side of the floor as well. And he hit a couple of threes. His shot looked nice, looked comfortable. And I think with some of the interviews I've seen as well, he's showing a little bit of personality. He seems like a good kid. So I think I've really, we're kind of always been, we're predisposed to want these young guys to be good. So I think we kind of put our eggs in their basket a little bit early, just naturally. But it's really nice to see a kid like this because I do think he's going to end up being like a real legit role player. I don't know what his role will be, but I think he's one of those guys he's going to make it hard not to play him with what he does well on a basketball court.
Yeah, and I want to start, you kind of mentioned it here, but I want to start by just showing this Jason Tatum block here. This was kind of what stole the show and the headline for Jaden Springer. That's an incredible block. And I said this on a Sixers Digest video today, but there's another world where if this happens at another moment of a game in a real regular season game or a playoff game, this is like a legacy kind of play. Like the ability to do that is something that we should not brush over. Like that's meeting Jason Tatum at the rim like that. But I think there was much more than this, just that in the substance of his play. I do think Jaden Springer has improved, even from watching him in Delaware and in the brief moments that we've got on the NBA court. It felt like he was much more confident in what his role is, what he should be doing on the court. And I think he benefited from playing next to guys like Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris and guys like that. I think oftentimes when we see him in settings like Summer League or these kind of unstructured environments, even the G League, where he's kind of looked at to be more of the guy, he's never going to be an NBA player, whereas creating his own shot is his bread and butter, or he's this offensive engine. That's not him. So I think he looked better having guys that he can rely on by that and just staying in his lane, doing the things that he's good at. I thought he was pretty smart as a cutter. That stood out to me in a great deal. That's something that I had not really seen from him before. Defensively, he's as advertised. The way that he can move, especially laterally, his lateral quickness is unreal. The way he can kind of stick with a guy on a perimeter. So I like him. I agree with your point that I think he's going to be hard not to play, and he's very much going to be in the mix. And my last point on Springer specifically is every player has a different path as far as when it comes to the NBA. This kid's still 21 years old. There are guys that entered the NBA this year that are older than him, that come out of college, spend 4 years in college, whatever the deal is. This is just a part of his developmental track. The Sixers knew he was a project when he was drafted. It is no surprise that it took 2 years for him to develop. We're just starting to see what Jaden Springer can be, and this is the same guy that they believed he was when he got drafted. So for the people who just kind of tossing Jaden Springer in mock trades, they're kind of writing him off because he has not really done any damage in 2 years. I think this is the season where we can actually begin to judge what he is as a basketball player.